absolute honor to welcome back Senator Kamala Harris.
Oh, it's so good to be back, guys.
Senator, I have a question. What do you believe Joe Biden can learn from you, specifically when it comes to Black Lives Matter?
On the one hand, you have Joe Biden, who has a knowledge of history and the courage to speak the term Black Lives Matter. On the other hand, you have a Donald Trump who refuses to do it and refuses to condone white supremacists and neo-Nazis. And, you know, I'm proud to serve on this ticket with him because he does understand that this is an issue that must be confronted, and we must speak truth, that systemic racism in America is real.
Please welcome the 60th mayor of Atlanta, Keisha Lance Bottoms.
Hello, thank you.
Welcome, Mayor Bottoms. Hello.
I was left with a lot of questions, and the first thing I said aloud to someone was that it didn't sound like to me he had presented all of the options before the grand jury, and that's really what's being borne out. It's hurtful because in light of all that we have experienced over the past several months, it still feels like the lives of African Americans are being devalued, and I can't imagine what still having these answers are like for the family.
Where do we go from here?
And this is about being thoughtful, being level-headed, and keeping our eye on the prize, and that's what we have to do today.
Our next guest is the first woman of color to be elected to Congress from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Please welcome Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley.
Hello. Hi, happy New Year. What are the top issues that you want Biden to address when he takes office? What would you like to see?
And so the number one priority of a Biden-Harris administration must be an equitable public health response focused on the communities hardest hit, equitable vaccine distribution to our front line and our most vulnerable, and then an equitable economic recovery.
The U.S. is actually one of the few countries that requires individual registration. Most democracies actually have automatic registries, and that sounds just so much easier. Why don't we have that?
Because unfortunately in the United States, it's been part of our history to make it harder for everyone to participate. That's one of the underpinnings of voter suppression. Rather than make it easy to use a fundamental right, the United States decided early on to make it as hard as possible. I've been fighting hard to make certain that automatic registration and same-day registration become a part of our future. And if we can get this election done right, there was a bill called H.R. 1, the first bill passed by the Congress, by the U.S. House in 2019, was exactly that, to make certain that automatic registration is easier so that people actually believe their right to vote is protected and real because they don't have to work so hard to make it so.